We've looked at relative cell references in Excel, and we've looked at absolute cell references in Excel. And there's also something called a mixed cell reference. An absolute cell reference is just something that looks like, let's put a number in here, like that. And if I copy that formula down, it becomes A2. If I copy it down again, it becomes A3, and basically if I copy it down, the numbers change as I move down because I'm always asking for the cell immediately to the left. Now if I copy any of those formulas to the right, I'm still going to get zeros here because if I pick any one of these, it's still giving me whatever is in the cell immediately to its left. Okay, so those are relative cell references. Let's clear those out. Now an absolute cell reference is one that never changes when you copy it, and it has dollar signs in it, one for the letter and one for the number. So this says A1 and never change it when you copy. So I can copy it down here, I can take it and I can copy it across, and no matter what, whenever I double click on a cell, it's always going to tell me that the reference in the formula is up here in A1. Okay, so that's absolute cell referencing. And there's another possibility, and that is mixed cell references, where either the letter or the number is absolute but the other one is relative. So let's try that here. Let's just do equals $1. Okay, that means it's okay to change the letters. Let's say I copy this over to the right. Okay, well, this becomes B, but the 1 stays the same. Okay, this becomes D, the 1 stays the same. Now if I copy them down, let's try copying them across here and see what we get. Okay, so this one is referring to A1, this one is referring to A1, this one is referring to A1. Now if I go over here, this is referring to B1. Now if I go up and delete this, then I get some changes over here, and if I double click on any one of these, when I copied it to the right, the B changed to a C. When I copy it to the right again, the C, wait a second, the A changed to a B, and here the B changes to a C and to a D and so on. So as you copy it across, because there's no dollar sign in front of the column letter gets adjusted. But there's a dollar sign in front of the 1, which means the 1 will never change no matter whether I'm copying across the page or whether I'm copying down the page. Okay, now we're going to take a look at an example that uses relative or mixed cell references. And what we're going to do is we're going to create a simple addition table. I'm going to put a little plus sign here in the corner to indicate that we're doing addition. And then we're going to put our row and column headers. And we're going to get the first two. We're going to get the fill handle and drag across to column K. And now we get the numbers 1 through 10 here, 1 through 10 here. And let's format them all the same. I'm going to select this and then hold the control key down and select the rest of this. Remember, you use the white plus sign to select. And let's make them all look the same. Let's make them look bold. And let's center all of them. And let's give them a different shading color. Let's just do a little bit light shading here to indicate that those are the borders. And then what I'm going to do also is I'm going to go down here and put a right border on that, and I'm going to go here and I'm going to put a bottom border on it, and so that kind of separates the column headings and the row headings from the rest of the data. Now, any number in here, if I'm doing an addition table, is going to be the sum of the number in column A and the sum of the number in row 1. So I'm going to pick my first term from column A, but when I'm in row 3, it's going to be A3. When I'm in row 4, it's going to be A4, and so on down the page. So the column is absolute, but the row number needs to change. And when I'm grabbing a number from up here, the column will change. Okay, if I'm here, I want it from C2, but if I'm sorry, C1, and if I'm here, I want it from D1. If I'm here, I want it from E1. But the 1 is always going to be the same. So if my second term is coming from this row in the spreadsheet, the 1 needs to be absolute. So let's write that formula up. I want this term plus this term. Okay, now if I do it with relative cell references like that, it's not going to work. But if I go here and put in my dollar signs to indicate that the column A is never going to change for this term, but I can go to row 3 and row 4 and so on. And over here, that the 1 is never going to change, put a dollar sign in front of the 1, and then I hit enter. It tells me 1 plus 1 is 2. And let's center that. And then let's copy it down the page. And you got to do this in 2 steps. And then copy it, let go of the mouse and copy it across the page. And there we go. And if I double click on any number here, the blue number is always going to come from column A, and the green number is always coming from row 1. Blue from A, green from row 1. Blue from A, green from row 1. Anytime you have a table like this, where a number in the middle of the table is determined by using a value up here in the column headings and a value over here in the row headings, you're always going to use mixed cell references all the time.